gonna sing, so don't get weird, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2.
Oh, really?
I like that you have a wig that's like the same haircut as me.
This is not a wig. This is my actual hair. My balls is totally moving, new and improving. Not can we get back up? I've got the heart and desire. My balls are on fire, ready to take us to the top. Welcome to the show. Did you know that your mom is a I don't feel right. I feel like my voice machine is not anywhere near as powerful as it usually is. Or maybe I got less powerful.
I thought that was really nice.
Thanks. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me.
You seem pretty cool. Where'd you come from?
Culver City?
That's close to me.
No kidding.
We should hang out.
Okay.
You like fighting?
No.
Me neither then.
Lara Beitz, welcome to the show, and also
Yeah.
you live
Thank
nowhere
you.
close to here.
Yeah, no, I know.
I should clarify.
I know.
I'm just
I was just at home and then drove here, so I know.
for the benefit.
I was just yes-anding it.
For the benefit of people who aren't in Los Angeles and one person who is.
Sure. I wasn't going to start with
Yeah.
no. It
I
was the first
appreciate
thing he
that.
said to me,
Right.
you know. I
That's-
did say no when he asked me if I like fighting because it seemed like an invitation to fight him right now.
We were definitely going to fight
Yeah,
if you said yes.
definitely
Yeah.
avoided the first
I'm
booby trap.
available for
That was, nice
Yeah.
move, because I was just going to start swinging.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you say.
Yeah, right?
You know, that's how I feel.
I don't know if you noticed, but I'm bald and I have tattoos.
Oh, no
But
shit?
as I clarified before the show, crap. Did you know I have a smoke machine?
I did. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's better than premature ejaculation.
It's like it's pointing right at you.
It smells like a sandwich.
You know, Laura,
That reeks, man. I got to
like
be
my art?
honest with you. Oh, I'm sorry.
we're on YouTube. Did you know that YouTube
so
is
sorry.
a very
I honestly thought that was a
understanding
joke.
organization? Did you know that?
No.
They like me the most. Do you know why?
No.
Because I'm so polite and I never rock the boat.
Okay.
That's why I'm shadow banned on several social media things.
Okay.
I keep trying to pull my penis out. I can't help it.
Yeah. Try.
I just keep feeling like, what
Are
if
you-
it falls off and I didn't pull it out?
I feel like it's better if you didn't pull it out if it falls off.
Why? How does that
'Cause
work?
What a scene, you know?
I just, it's like if you had legs and then you didn't have legs, and when you had legs, you didn't run, you might regret that.
I don't feel like pulling your dick
Penises
out
were made to be shown.
is like running.
That's why they came with a jacket. That's why I feel like Christian people or Jewish people, when they made up the law of cutting your penis in half when you're born, is because it's a naughty area and they cut the jacket off so that it's naked all the time. Mine has a jacket on, so it's always appropriate. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll show you, no problem, but rolling it back, that's that's aggressive. That's like, wait, what are you trying to do?
Huh.
So I think that before, the way we were naturally born is not offensive. But because so many people have had their penises cut in half, it's kind of rude now.
Yeah,
Knobs are inappropriate.
Maybe a lot of it's cultural, just like the way I've been raised and my personal experiences. I feel super weird if people just pull out their penises.
Right.
Maybe
I thought in the
that's
comedy-
Hey, maybe don't bring your baggage into this room.
just want to be
I
real
thought-
clear on where I stand.
I
with
thought
that.
everybody in comedy did that.
Is there anything else I shouldn't say?
Nah. Oh, yeah, but I won't say it. But
Okay.
there's a certain country
Oh, got
you
it.
can't say that.
Sure. Okay.
And
I
they
won't
don't
go
like
there.
us, that country.
And then what?
Don't say that. And then there's also an animal that you can't say in the same as the country. If you say the country and that animal, we'll get in trouble.
I don't know
Also,
what the animal is.
I'm guessing you haven't brought any images of the Prophet Muhammad.
Not with me. No.
That's fine.
Yeah, so just you wouldn't want to take
You
those
know,
out on camera.
you know Chicago, how they have a football team. I could be wrong here. This is tough, but
Yeah.
I'm going to try and play it. That animal,
Uh-huh.
and then the country that has a country inside it that is beating up the little country inside it. That big country. Don't say that, and don't say that animal in the same hour. Did that help? Did that work?
I don't think I could. No, of course not. I have no idea what you're saying.
Dang it!
The likelihood you're going to say this thing is so low.
Okay.
Perhaps we should just play the odds and move on.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I like
a good
that.
idea.
I like
You're
that
from
idea.
the Chicago neck of the woods, the general.
Yeah, I'm from Milwaukee, which is like 2 hours away. And
My wife grew up in Milwaukee.
Oh, no kidding. Where?
Oh.
All right, cool. And then
He loves it there.
Really?
I like it there.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Are you lying?
No, I think my favorite Americans are Wisconsins and more specifically Milwaukeeans. I
Aw,
always say a guy from Milwaukee is a guy who will help you move.
that's so sweet. Yeah,
That's
I
my
was
experience.
Help.
I met a guy from Milwaukee in rehab. He couldn't stop drinking.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
happens.
rehab is kind of the place.
He said that where he lived was like good for drinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I am 9 years sober. And when I quit drinking, so I got sober in Chicago and then went back to Milwaukee. And my friends from there were just like, we never thought you had a problem.
Yeah,
and I'm
'cause
like,
it's
I was
normal.
blackout drunk every single day. Like, I started drinking when I woke up. Like, if you don't think that that's a problem,
Yeah.
what do you think
When
is
does
a
it become a
problem?
pro- yeah.
Yeah.
Go Packers, go Badgers.
Yep.
So it
That-
sounds a little bit like Australia.
I
Because
don't
I grew
know.
up like that, where everybody drank all the time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't no one ever said you had a problem.
Right. Yeah.
It was more if you said you didn't want to drink that people would start asking you what's wrong.
Absolutely.
That was what I found anyway.
Absolutely.
You really drank from when you woke up. I don't know if I mean this as a compliment or an insult, but I have known a lot of problem drinkers in my day. I've heard of your type. I don't know if I've ever actually met one. Like, what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I don't know if like anybody knew that about me. Like maybe friends who are super close to me.
You look great.
Thank you.
Did you look bad when you were doing that?
Yeah.
You bounced back hard.
It kind of looked like I like popped my face. Like I was really, it was just so bloated.
Yeah, it
you know?
does that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I woke up at like noon. And so
Oh.
my thinking was like, some people, like business people, will have a beer with like lunch. And so that was my
Yep.
justification for like putting brandy in my coffee.
It shouldn't change things, but it totally does. Now you don't sound like an
serious?
alcoholic. You just sound like a
It's
waitress.
so much worse. It's so much worse because I was sleeping in so late because I was staying up so late. You know, I was so unhealthy.
Speaking of staying up late, you're at the Comedy Store late all the time for a long time, right? Putting
Yeah.
in the hours.
Yeah.
Because I just started going there.
Yeah.
And I see everybody and how hard they work and what a big deal it is to get a spot and to know that, you were just... Because it's like these people they're parking cars and then
Yeah.
they're headlining. It's a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
But then there's tons of people that do that and never get there.
Right.
But it's just this, everyone's got it's gonna happen. You know,
Yeah.
like I just gotta stick to it and it's gonna happen. And you've been in it for a really long time. And then I know I heard the story that Joe Rogan saw you late at night
Yeah.
and that like he mentioned you and how funny he thought you were and that gave you like 10,000 more followers overnight and that like helped your career.
22,000 more followers overnight. So I had 5,000 and then the next morning I had like either 29.7 or 27.9 thousand. And I thought I had done something wrong, like looking at my
Yeah.
phone because it was like blowing up and I
Yeah.
was like, what happened? And then
Yeah.
I saw what was happening. It was so crazy. But yeah, the Comedy Store is how like everything that has happened in my career has happened was from doing the open mic, and then the other clubs started booking me and I got to be on TV and like got management, started touring. Like that's how I was,
What was the first TV thing you got?
Lights Out with David Spade.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it
So
was
you just
really
started hanging
fun.
out with him?
Yeah, I started hanging out.
That's
with him.
pretty cool.
He's so nice. He's the nicest guy.
He's nice to me. Like, he's friends with Tony Hawk, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
friends with Tony, so he'll say hello to me. But he came on the show with Tony and I the other day, and he just roasted me the whole time.
Really?
I don't know what it is, but if a comedian goes on that show, they're like, "Oh, you do comedy? Why's your head so like it just turns into that?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is the deal with that?"
Yeah.
But it does. But it's still cool to know that it's David Spade doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, "Go on."
Something about you kind of invites that, and I don't.
Yeah.
I can't put my
There's
finger
a
on it,
lot
but I
to-
feel like I started busting your balls out of the gate.
There's a lot to choose from. I made some decisions where I wasn't really thinking.
You seem like you could handle it. You seem like you'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm a big boy.
Yeah.
And I think I say way worse stuff to myself, or I have done. I still do than you can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's what's so
So I've heard it.
like, I don't know, nice or fun or funny about like mean comments I get on every video I post, you know, which to me is a good sign because it means that it's going into random people's feeds.
Yeah.
You know, people who haven't seen me before, but they say stuff and I'm just like, oh, I think my makeup looked worse than you did. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't like my hair?
Right.
I hated my hair. You know what
Yep.
you don't like the way my body looks in that clip? Like, yeah, I like couldn't watch it. I
Yeah.
had to just like post. Like, I am so much, and I try to be nice to myself. I try to practice like really kind self-talk, and if I catch myself saying something to myself, I stop it and try to redirect
Me
and
too.
be like, no, you're beautiful. Like, I try
Do
to
you think
talk
it's
to
the
that
addict?
voice as if it's another person and be
Do you
like,
think-
you can't talk to me like that.
Do you think it's your addiction problems that talk to you like that? Because I'm also a recovering alcoholic,
Oh, cool.
and I feel like I have, like, the reason I drank so much in the first place was to self-medicate, to sort of numb myself from the bad things that I was saying to myself all day.
Yeah.
And now I have to use, positive thinking instead of hiding it. I have to be like, look, you're not that bad. Like, stop saying that about yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay. And then you kind of push through. And I don't think I had that tool when I was younger. It was just, you suck, and that's the end of it. Walk off knowing you suck.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that there's like a relationship between those things. I know that part of what I loved about drinking when I started it was that it gave me the courage to like talk to people.
Yeah,
like
me
I
too.
just wasn't so self-conscious.
Yeah.
And then ultimately it ended up making me more self-conscious because I would do such embarrassing
Right. You wake up the
things.
next day and go, oh my God,
Exactly.
what did I say?
With the
and do?
texts and the calls and
Yeah.
people mad at you, and you
Yep.
ended a relationship somehow and have no memory of like what you did or said. It's just,
So
it's
how
just such a mess.
was it harder? Because you've been doing stand-up since you were a little kid. Like, you always wanted to do it, right?
26. I mean, I did like the Christmas talent show at my grandma's house and like a talent show on a Girl Scout retreat when I was 9.
But were you doing
besides
stand-up?
those two, yeah. I did one when I was like 5 and one when I was
That's
9.
pretty crazy that you chose that when you were 5 and now that's your career.
It was like the only thing. It was always
I
kind of my
breakdanced.
thing, Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I could do the wall thing when I was like 10 or whatever, and I entered a competitive, and because it was like on a dance floor and it was like a band, instead of rap music, the band played a song that I had to breakdance to, and it made it harder.
Oh no!
The
They were
best
trying to bang out two
breakdancer-
entrants at the same time.
It's pretty bad.
Did you actually get down on the floor? Because what you did right
I
there.
did a
is-
backspin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the end.
Because that just looked like Funky Myman.
Yes, well, that's one of them. It's
Right.
the because it was Turbo and Ozone.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Breaking two.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't need to tell you.
Electric Boogaloo,
The best breakdancer I ever saw in real life had Down syndrome. I used to be a counselor at summer and winter camps for adults with special needs, and there was always a talent show at the end of camp. And he breakdanced and he crushed it like this little son of a gun. Just
Real
like,
good or
tore it up.
real
He was
funny?
Really good.
Did you do
He
like a
was
helicopter?
really good. I don't know what that is.
Right. Spin around. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he spun around.
Yes, then that's
Yeah.
one of those things.
This
Yeah.
was probably in the pre-social media age, right?
Yes.
'Cause somebody like that would kill nowadays.
Yeah.
Right. I was thinking, I don't know if I ever really thought about it in as concrete terms, but when I was doing my real serious drinking, I think it was like before texting and at the very tail end, the very beginning of cell phones. And I can't decide what's better or worse because I used to wake up and I lived in an apartment with a bunch of friends. And I would just lay there sometimes and be like, when I go out in the kitchen, either everyone's going to be like, hey, how's it going? Or they're going to go, ha, there he is. And I don't know if it's better or worse that I didn't have the ability to just look at my phone and who did I call? How many times did I call them? When did I call them? What message did I send? So and so. I think ignorance might be bliss in that regard.
I used to have a rule with my friends where I was just like, don't tell me what I did last night.
Yeah.
Like that was what I asked of them. I remember I called a guy I worked with once. God, it's so embarrassing even to talk about like 15 years later. And I just was like, I know you have a crush on me. Why don't you just like say it? And he was like, I don't. And then I was like, all right, well, see you at work. And then I continued to see him at work. Brutal.
Ouch. Yeah. So he didn't want it.
No.
Are you sure he wasn't just playing hard to get?
Yes.
You should give him another call.
Right, that's what I think.
So long ago. And so gross now looking back on it.
Is he now that you're sober and looking sweet, are you out of his league now?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So you were like
I
going
feel
for
so bad saying that, but like, yeah.
Oh no. You got denied by somebody that should not deny you.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
But I mean,
It hurts. Do you think it hurts more, or do you think like if it's a really hot guy, it hurts less?
I think, I don't know.
Is this inappropriate?
No, not at all.
People are ugly, man. Like,
I just wish I had a quick answer. It definitely pisses me off more if it's not like a super hot guy.
Right.
But it's also not something that really comes up anymore because I don't like go for people anymore.
Right.
You know?
Why not?
Because I just attraction rather than promotion, you know?
Right. Are you seeing somebody?
Yeah, but
Well, I wasn't
not
supposed to ask
yet, you know? No, it's okay.
That was a weird answer. It's hard for me to say. I want to say, yeah, I know, so we can move on.
Sure.
But to honestly, nah, I don't know what that means.
Nothing serious.
Right.
Attraction rather than promotion.
Yeah, so like people will come to me, and if they don't, then I don't. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I don't chase.
Yeah.
I mean, does it make a difference? I know that being a stand-up, particularly a female stand-up, is not an ideal way to meet people, but it does shine a spotlight on you literally in the room. Like that is an option for you that it might not be for a woman who works down the hall in accounting.
Yeah, no, I think it's way easier to work in accounting and
Why
get
is
a
that?
guy. Men hate it most
what
of the
is
time.
that?
They're afraid I'm going to talk about them on stage, and I am.
Right, sure, yeah.
And I think just men don't like a woman who's like dominant. I think it's kind of a masculine thing to do.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you're a special person.
Yeah, there's another word for it, but thank you. That was a way better one.
But you will talk about a guy that you're seeing
100%.
on stage.
Yeah.
Have you?
I'd be psyched.
I mean,
Is it always good?
I try to, when I'm with them,
Yeah.
I will ask them. I'll be like, is this joke okay with you? And that doesn't mean, like, then they get to tell me how they feel, and then I get to go from there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so far, what has happened is if the person didn't like it, I didn't tell it because I don't want to disrespect my partner, and I don't
But
want
that
to
happened though,
with
with it.
feelings.
They said,
Oh, for sure.
I don't like it.
Absolutely.
Who
I
was
mean,
this pussy, and what would you want you to say?
give us one.
My last boyfriend, I called him stupid, and it was just
Like
to
as a
be
nickname?
funny. No, on stage in a bit.
Yeah.
And it was just to be funny, and it got a great laugh.
Yeah.
But he came when I did a weekend and watched 6 shows in a row of me calling him stupid, and he was like, yeah, this is like a little bit
He didn't get up
too
on
much
that.
for me. No, he didn't like it.
What's wrong with this
He
guy?
didn't have enough by Thursday?
Yeah.
He wanted
No.
to come to all 6 shows?
He came to all 6 shows,
He's
which he
adorable.
never did again.
That's really stupid though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then there was a joke that I wrote about him proposing to me, and he outright got like really pissed. And then that's the kind of thing that kind of made me mad because I was like,
Yeah.
this what, like, I didn't say anything mean.
Yeah.
It just, he got pissed, and I was like, this was a joke that I wrote to be funny. And that's the thing that I think that people don't get is it's like, yeah, there's truth to them but also I'm just saying the funniest thing I can think of.
Yeah,
I'm not
right,
saying
right.
like what I actually think.
Sure.
Necessarily.
Yeah, you'll throw the
Right.
truth out in a heartbeat.
Right.
For a
I didn't
punchline.
mean, for
Right.
instance, that there actually had to be peacocks walking around if he was going to propose to me. Like, that was a joke. And
Yeah.
that was like what he got pissed. I was like, there need to be like swans. That was a joke. And that was what he got pissed about. And I didn't even want him to propose to me. Like,
Yeah.
it just was.
Did you say no?
To what?
The proposal.
He didn't propose.
Oh, wait, then how did you get the idea?
Of my long-term boyfriend proposing to me? Society, I guess.
Oh, you just made it up?
Yeah, I made it up.
Do you think he didn't like that bit because he knew he hadn't proposed yet?
He was thinking about proposing.
There you go.
Yeah, he was like, it just hurts me that you don't think it would be special if I did it. Like,
Guys
you wouldn't
hate
think I would
when
do it in
you
a special
point out
way.
that they're not romantic, which is so stupid because they're not.
That wasn't even the
You know?
point of the bit. The point of the bit was like, I've been daydreaming about this for so long that if it's not completely over the top fantastical, I will be disappointed. Like,
Yeah.
I've set myself up for
Yes.
disappointment through my own fantasy. Like, that
Right.
was the bit. And I mean,
Yeah.
in fairness, now that I'm saying it out loud, it probably wasn't funny and it probably wouldn't have gotten a laugh. And I probably should have put it on stage behind his back and let it not get a laugh. And like, I don't know, maybe that's something I'll do differently in the future.
Deceit.
Although,
There you go.
just waiting. And we kind of agreed on this after that happened. Like, that I should maybe put something on stage and see if it gets a laugh and see if it's worth having that conversation.
But
'Cause
what
if I just try it one
what
night,
if it kills?
then talk to
and
them.
then they hate it.
Oh man.
If I was going out with you and it killed and I hated it, for the craft, I'd be like, whatever, you can do it.
Totally.
But I'm probably not going to do Thursday to Sunday
Right.
with you
It's
watching
it's
it.
hard to like
When you go watch a movie.
imagine. Like it's hard to imagine. Like, I've had an ex write jokes about me that
You dated a comedian,
like 10 years ago.
right? Because now you're like, hell no, right?
No,
You still would,
I still would.
right? Because they're pretty funny,
They're the funniest people and they're the only people I know.
but they're kind of sad sometimes.
Sometimes, but sometimes regular people are sad too.
Touche.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a bigger risk than dating a normal person.
Right.
So, yeah, you know,
What is the risk?
seeing them around
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah. I find that the older I get, the less I hate people that I break up with.
That's nice.
Yeah, because I'm very annoying. Like, if you love me, I'm sorry, you know? But more now, I feel like I handle it. I'm more apologetic about I used to be like, you're the problem. I know I'm the problem. now.
Right.
So, like, when you leave, I go, look, I'm really sorry.
You know,
And if you needed anything, I would still be there for you. I never would have said that back in the day.
yeah. You know what's wild is like in program. Are you in program?
No.
Well, we like learn to look at our side of the street and focus on ourselves, and we learn that we are the problem. And
I've been
I
enough to
bring that into my and I bring that into my relationships, and then it's interesting because then sometimes when the relationship ends, and I'm talking to other people about what happened, I'm like, wait, I was not 100% of the problem. Like, this person had major issues, and it's like it never occurred to me. And I think that there still is a lot to be said for like taking ownership of yourself and focusing on yourself instead of thinking about what the other person's doing wrong. But that's been kind of a relief to me, is just being like, I might be a problem,
Yep.
but there's other stuff. I'm interacting with another person on this. You know?
I think my theory on it is I just don't want to be resentful. And if I take all the blame, then I don't have to resent them. And then I'll be better around them or any of their friends. Like, I can deal with the whole thing better if I just take it all on me.
As we're talking about this, I'm having the thought that I think that there is some compassion in acknowledging that other people have faults too. Because it's like, if I can be at fault, why can't they also be at fault?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, it was
And just like giving grace to that.
it was
And-
totally my ex-wife's fault.
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
Right.
Who wouldn't want to marry me?
I
Right?
I think this is an important breakthrough you've had.
That was quick. I really appreciate you being here. That I feel way better. Hey, everybody, calm down. You know?
Yeah. Are
Doesn't-
you cutting my mic now? Is
No.
that the end? Okay,
No,
good.
you're probably going to say something even more flattering. It's going really well.
Are you being sarcastic?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm saying easy. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are obviously going to want to date me more now after what we've just spoke about. But you know what I mean? I'm not a hoe. I totally am. That's stupid.
Yeah, that was funny that you couldn't say that with a straight face.
It's real.
You made yourself laugh out loud afterwards.
I'm like the biggest hoe I've ever met. It's so bad. But yeah, so
What is that like?
it's pretty exciting.
It's working for you?
Right now, yeah, being single, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm a picky hoe now.
Uh,
I used to just be a flat out hoe.
Be that? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Is there?
As I'm not really.
Yeah, I
guess.
think of hoes as being like not very
Hose.
discerning.
Hose or hose. Somebody said that. Like
Well,
a famous guy said that.
Probably several. Yeah, it rmeans. I
Or
mean,
is
I
it
think
hose be hose?
it all depends. It
I
depends
can't
on your
remember
options,
who said
right?
it, but it was like that.
Like it all depends on your options. Because like when I was young, I was a hoe, and
Holla.
I sometimes would be happy with the way things worked out, but sometimes settled because I was a hoe.
Yes.
If there was a greater supply of people who were physically attracted to me than I had time to hook up with, then I would be a totally discerning hoe.
Interesting.
So if you have a ton of, like I judge Leonardo DiCaprio to be a very discerning hoe, right? Because
Yeah.
everybody wants to sleep with him. So he sleeps with like 10 people a week, but they're all like everybody got drug tested and they're supermodels and
Drug tested.
have
Interesting.
agents. Whatever his, I don't know what his,
Drug tested or STD
STD
tested?
tested would be better.
Yeah.
Because he's on drugs.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
I don't think they get drug tested.
well, I would think he wouldn't want to have like junkies and stuff in his life. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
making
okay.
stuff up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm assuming he's got a screening process to get on the yacht.
yeah.
Somebody's at least got a voucher.
I'm like Walmart Leo.
Right.
All right. I don't have like that. You know what? You do have to have a test to bone me.
What's the test?
Not a drug
SAT.
test. The one you were, the STD one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Same.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's a good call.
Yeah.
But that's where it ends. But I want to know more about Comedy Store. Let's stop talking about that.
Okay.
Because you're just there all the time. You were the TV show was after the Joe Rogan thing or before?
I don't remember. I think it was before. Because I found out that I was going to be on that show before I got passed as a paid regular at the Comedy Store.
How many years did you do at the Comedy Store before you became a paid regular?
Like none. I went to an open mic and then 7 months later I got passed as a paid regular. I went into development. People were pissed.
That's it. I don't want to. I'm from other things and I've paid my dues in other things.
Yeah.
And I know that they're like, wait, you can't just come in here and think that you're going to be one of us. You have to pay your dues. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I paid him a couple times in some other areas.
Right.
But yeah, fair enough. Like I'm definitely not trying to push anybody out of the way.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to think that. But I can tell that people being nice to me there's some other people that are like, how does he, that's not, and I'm like, I get it, but just let me hang out, you know what I mean? And maybe you'll discover that I'm not what you think I am. Because I think some people think I'm, if I can get it easy, I'm just going to do it for a little bit, get some money, like do what some other people have done that have come in from other things that got them going there. But I just want to be one of you guys. That's all I really want from it. And I think maybe sometimes my pants are too shiny and it looks like I'm coming in for other reasons. But I just want to be good at it. And that I've been watching some of your clips. You've got like to be really funny in a Instagram clip because everybody's got them. You're really funny. Like
Wow,
I can
thank
tell that
you.
you put a lot of work because I can tell I'm good enough now to know when someone's put in a lot of work and your angle on things. It shows me you've done so much research into yourself and how you say things and what would be funny the way you say it because of who you are. Like I watched one this morning where I was like, if I said that, it wouldn't have been that funny, but you did it and the way you did it, I was like, that is amazing. Like that is the highest level. So I get why somebody walked by you and was like, holy crap, why isn't this person doing everything? I get it, but I'm just fascinated by the work that it took to get there and how did you feel yourself understanding it more and getting better, or was it just like all of a sudden you were better.
I mean, first of all, thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
so kind. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate
Wow,
the things you just
it's
said.
so weird that you think that. Like, you know that though, right?
I don't.
It's weird.
I
It's
don't
like,
see what other people see or say.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching my stuff and I'm like frustrated. I want to be better. I always want to be better.
yeah, okay, but that man,
I
you and
but I don't watch my stuff, and occasionally I'll like write a joke, and when it's like pretty new and I'm excited about it,
Yeah.
it'll make me laugh, and
Yeah.
I'll be excited about it.
Yeah,
Um.
but then you're saying after a while you're like, man, maybe that wasn't that good anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I'll get in my head about stuff to where I'm like, why is that funny? And I can never put my finger on it, and
Yeah.
so I always conclude it's not.
Right. Well, let me
It's just not that funny.
let me confirm you that you're wrong.
Thank you.
They are really funny.
Thank you.
I was
appreciate
watching them
that.
last night with my gay ass boyfriend, and he was laughing his ass off at that stuff, and he had no idea who you were. He just started sitting there watching my phone.
Thank you.
So you're amazing.
Thank you so
It
much.
makes me wanna like the people like you. I go, oh, I gotta figure it out more. Like, cause you got a way of doing things where it seems so laid back, but you just punch through so hard when you hit the joke. I'm like, I need to know.
Thank
I need
you
to
so
know more.
much.
So that was just. Do you think you got most of it from being at the Comedy Store for that time, or was it just traveling on the road? Like, what was the bit that helped you get good?
Well, that's the thing is like people at the Comedy Store, not everybody, most people were nice, but they were like, where the hell did she come from?
Yeah.
And how did she skip all these people?
Right. So you
who
didn't
have
work
like
the door.
been
then,
there for years.
I'm assuming.
No. And I was like, right before I got put into development there, I was disappointed because my friend got a door guy job and I didn't. Like, I couldn't even
You applied,
work the
though?
lot. I didn't apply. They just pick you.
Okay.
Yeah. And, oh no. Oh yeah. So regarding like paying your dues, like I had been doing stand up for 9 years before I did the open mic where I got noticed there. Wow. And I had done the open mic there a couple of other times and like not had strong sets.
Right.
You know, like gotten a couple pops, but with like a hot crowd where other people were doing well.
Yeah.
And so like that counts as dues paying too. I just wasn't like going and hanging out on the patio because I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't.
That is a great point, because I did it on Monday, and there were some people that got up where I was like, "Oh, you're very new." You know, like this whole thing is new, and you just so happen to be doing it in the belly room at the Comedy Store where legends are made, and some people like yourself put in a decade and then showed up. But then you're saying there was a time before that where you did show up and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because you hadn't paid your dues enough.
You know what changed is I started putting on that stupid voice that I can't shake and saying really profane things. And that was when I got passed.
Are you...
No, I'm not lying. Not at all. I used to try to write like clean, intelligent material about like family and like smart stuff and like talk in my regular voice. And I just like went and bombed. And I mean, I was all right. You know, I was like working the clubs in Chicago and being kind of hard on myself, on my past self. But like, then I got put up in front of the booker at the Comedy Store. He had me come back, I think, 7 times before he finally put me into development. So like every week I was auditioning in front of him.
And it would be more pressure every time.
Yeah. And I ran out of like my good material because I blew through like 35 minutes of like
Yeah.
my best material.
Yeah.
And so I started having to just like write new stuff and then do it that week. And I wrote a joke about like balls looking like a chicken nugget. And that was a set where I got passed. Yeah.
That sounds something
I wrote a
would
joke
really
about
enjoy.
like a butt and some balls. And that was a
Hell
set
yeah.
where I got passed.
Okay, I'll remember that. I'm in the...
Yeah. I mean,
like-
I'm not suggesting it. That's just my personal journey.
I just did it on Monday.
Yeah.
And if they were like, yeah, maybe come back, and it was 7 more times, I'd be starting to fall apart. Like
Every
the nerves,
time
I had nerves on Monday where I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because it's like more than likely they'll be like, yeah, good for you, see you next time.
Right.
But what if they do? What if they don't? You know, and it's like, oh, it meant so much more. That 3 minutes meant so much more than any other set I've done, because those people are watching.
Right.
There's so much more pressure, and to know that they were interested but not for sure. So come back in. That would double the weight.
You know what killed me is that after all was said and done, the booker told my friend that he just kept bringing me back because he liked watching me.
Yeah, wait, you were already in?
Yeah.
Ah.
He was like, no, I just love watching it. So he kept bringing me back, and I didn't know. So every time I was like, this set is the difference between me getting put in development at the club I most want to work,
but
being like,
but you seem like somebody that
sent on my way.
The pressure, you rose to it.
I mean, I was sickened by it, but
you showed up and killed every time. I so relate to the pressure when you say the word sickened. Like there's sometimes the pressure where I go, it's because I've done fighting and like all kinds of things where right before the big thing is about to happen, I ask myself I go, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, why did you put yourself but now because I'm older and it's happened so many times, the answer is like, I don't answer anymore, but I'm always still surprised where I hear myself go, what made you decide to, like, don't you like Netflix? Like, I like weed and candy, but nah, I'm here. You know what I mean? Where it could all just like blow up in my face again.
Yeah.
But it's something about going through it and waking up the next day going, well, I showed up. Like, was I terrified? Was my stomach... Did my temperature change for like 15 minutes before I went up? Like, now it's ridiculous how I can be like... They're like, hey, man, you're up third. And I go, okay, cool. And then I'm like, what? Did someone just put the 8? And I'm like, no, dude, I know what your body is changing temperature because you've put yourself under this much pressure.
Yeah.
That you've cooled down.
Hey, next time you're at the store and you're going to buy some water, you could go to the section where they have the super overpriced stuff from France, or you could go to the section where they sell you tap water and put a brand name on it, or you could go where we go, the cool section. That's where they sell Liquid Death.
Yeah, 7th greatest skateboarder in the world. How cool is that? Guess what water I drink? Liquid Death. You're asking about tea. I could hear it. They've got that too.
Take it from the 5 billion and 7th greatest skateboarder in the world. It's so refreshing and alpine fresh.
Don't give up, Michael. Liquid Death has a code so that you can get a discount. So then it's even cheaper and still incredibly cool.
Yep.
Maybe even cooler because it's connected to such athletes as myself and Michael
and
Pelly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Whatever ranking you are, you'll be cool and you'll have extra money in your pocket.
Whatever your style is, flat, bubbly, deliciously lightly flavored, or one of their new iced tea varieties, you can find Liquid Death's healthy beverages on Amazon or at a retailer near you. And Jason Ellis Show listeners get 20% off their first Liquid Death apparel purchase. That's 1 out of 5.
Sick t-shirts and hoodies, yo.
And they are available exclusively at liquiddeath.com/Ellis. Exclusions may apply. That's liquiddeath.com/Ellis.
Don't suck.
Yeah, I would look at my Fitbit and my resting heart rate was tripled. Like, I was triple.
Never had that on. That is the worst idea. Do you have that still? Mm-hmm. You still do it. Does it show you how much sleep you get? Mm-hmm. Do you like that, knowing that?
I don't know.
What about when it says you didn't get enough REM sleep?
I don't know. You're coming at me real hard on this.
I know. Sorry, I got a little excited. Sorry.
Can't overstate how important proper rest is.
I just want to know because I got friends.
How much REM do you get? I don't. God.
But doesn't
fuck,
it bum
I hope
you?
I don't answer wrong.
So you don't check.
I mean, honestly, I check sometimes. I check it sometimes.
And when it says you didn't get very much REM sleep, sorry, it's just a guy I hang out with. He's like, "Oh man, I only got like 4 hours of REM sleep," and I'm like, "What is that?"
That's a lot.
Is it?
I'll get maybe like an hour and a half.
See, I don't need to.
I check if I know I did not get enough sleep. Like if I'm tired, I'll check. Like the other day I was tired and I looked and I got 2 hours and 48 minutes of sleep. And like I knew I had gone to bed late. I knew I'd woken up early. That wasn't a surprise, but I was like, oh, I'm wrecked.
And did that help you through the day?
It let me know where I stood. You know, I made the decision not to work out that day because I was so sleep deprived.
That's handy.
It made me a little gentler with myself.
Oh, okay. Maybe because I'm just worried that like if I had to do something and it's like, okay, you're about to do stand-up 10 o'clock at night, and I'm about to go on stage, and I go, man, I only had like 30 minutes of REM sleep. This is going to be tough. Or would it be better to know or not know, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm scared of it.
Do you know
That's
what?
why I got excited. Sorry.
Don't look at it.
I'm interested in that. I've reached the age where I like the only thing I have on my Christmas list is a Aura ring, which measures the quality of your sleep. But I do.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, has it got like a digital screen on it?
I think it's connected to an app.
Weird.
Yeah. I'm looking at my various options in that realm, but wait, hold on. I'm sorry, I did not sleep last night. Give me a second to collect my thoughts.
Did
here.
you check your phone to check your ring to see if you got any REM sleep?
No, I can tell you exactly what happened. Is my children and my wife left for the airport at 4:00 this morning.
Yeah.
and I drove them. Oh, here's what it is. I journal, which is even more embarrassing than admitting you have a
diary?
sleep tracking. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, sure. I don't actually write it out like with a princess pen or anything like that.
Okay.
But what I noticed is, and I think this is really valuable, I do want to know the quality of sleep that I get, but I have noticed that it doesn't, as much as it seems like it should have a dramatic effect on the way that you perform. I'm like, there's some times where I've gone to perform or whatever, and I'm ready to go, and I do whatever, and there's times where I'm absolute dog shit, and I've never at the end of it been like, see, that's why nobody laughed that night, because you only got 30 minutes of REM sleep or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's weird because it seems like there should be like a crazy correlation between the quality of sleep you get and your ability to perform, but it just seems like it's the way that you feel, not what you actually do.
If I'm doing a headlining set, like on a Thursday show, and I have to cross all the time zones, like go into Eastern time zone, and I have like a 6 a.m. flight, so I'm there well before that. I have gone up on like an hour and a half of sleep, and it showed. I could tell. I was just slower with crowd work. Like I still knew my bits, but I had a harder time finding them once I had gone into the crowd. You know, I just was so much, you're just slower, you're just slower. So someone would say something to me and I'm like, okay, there's like a bit of a lag there. It's going to take 5 seconds for that to get into my brain.
Yeah.
And then I have to talk too. And then the words have to come out from my brain. You know what I mean? It's just slower.
Wait.
So I try now, if I'm doing a show on the East Coast, to fly in a day early just so that I can, be of service to the audience and be useful.
Okay. Thank God. I was saying, because I'm probably going to be a successful comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to 1 hour. I don't want to work where I have 1 hour sleep.
Get a later flight.
You can do that.
Or fly in a day early.
So you don't
I can't do that because, I mean, some of them it's just like, it adds those 3 hours. So, like, it's a 6 hour flight. Like, that's like 9 hours already.
Does this happen a lot? Where you do the 1.5 hour sleep thing?
No.
That's a rare thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because that's.
I mean, like 2 hours happens a lot. It kind of happened. I mean, it happens. I take early flights. I like to take the first flight. They're the least likely to be delayed. I get there the soonest. I can have a nap. I can get settled in.
What about a hyperbaric chamber? You can get one of those You can get one that's like inflatable one, and then you can put it in your room, and you can sleep in that, and then it helps get rest or something.
But if I'm already in my room, why wouldn't I just sleep in a bed?
Because hyperbaric chamber is good for you.
I mean, if that's a
got
realistic
electrolytes.
option, then maybe I'll experience that someday.
I'm just saying, I would invest in. I know that somebody's got it, but I was thinking about it, blocking your ears, blocking your eyes, and I was like a helmet. But then I was like, if you have a helmet on when you sleep, it's going to make your neck crooked. So there needs to be like some sort of capsule that you seal yourself in, and it pumps like really good oxygen, better oxygen with like extra stuff in it, probably electrolytes and things like that. So you wake up extra refreshed. So you have it with you, and you get in it every time. So you got 2 hours, you go in there, and it's got drugs in it, so it makes you go to sleep straight away. In case you were a little worried about your set,
I mean, get real, man. What the hell are you talking about?
they could make that.
But they don't.
But you could get one going yourself if you thought about it.
No, I can't.
I can
what
help
are
you.
you talking about?
I'm
don't
talking
think you
about right,
no,
you guys.
you couldn't.
You guys are just party poopers, man. I was just trying to have a good time with a sleep helmet, and you guys are just trying to break it down.
No, you posed it as a serious suggestion, is what happened.
I saw one
And
of those.
I'm responding to that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I saw one of those on TV when I was a kid, and the show Beyond Tomorrow on the Fox network lied. They're like, yeah, this helmet, you're only going to need to sleep for 30 minutes. And yeah.
But they didn't.
No. That show came out in like 1989. I'm still waiting for the sleep helmet.
Yeah, a lot of people lied in the 80s.
Yeah, there wasn't
I'm
a
not
lot of
giving
fact
up.
checking.
I'm not giving up. I think that there's like a hyperbaric chamber, sleeping pills, there's, you know what I mean, and then have like oxygen mask on. You can get oxygen mask. I remember a couple times I got knocked out in skating contests and they would give me an oxygen mask, and the oxygen mask would give you some energy. Like, it
Oh,
kind
yeah.
Yeah.
I fainted on a plane recently, and they gave
Whoa.
me some oxygen.
What happened?
So I've always like, I've fainted since I was like 3 years old, but I
From
was
the side of things or just fainting?
various reasons.
What was this reason? I'm so intrigued.
I'm telling you. So, like, if I am like, I don't know, scared or like hungry or stressed in some way,
Scared?
I don't know, man. Yeah, like I've fainted from stage fright before.
On stage.
Then what happens is like my brain sends a message to my heart when my heart rate gets so elevated, telling it to slow down, and it overcompensates and gets so low that they did what's called a tilt table test, and they said that my heart stopped beating for 6 to 8 seconds. And I was prescribed a beta blocker because I'm really claustrophobic and I have a really hard time flying.
Yeah.
And I took it. Like I only take them when I fly. I only take them as needed. And so I had only done this like a couple times before. Mm-hmm. And I was having a panic attack. So I took one, and then I fainted. And the woman next to me happened to be a nurse, and she told me that those lower your blood pressure. So I was already stressed out. And then the thing happened where my brain sent the message to my heart to overcompensate and go super low. And it went like super, super low. And they gave me oxygen and juice, and the other people were not in the row anymore, and they just like laid me out, and I felt immediately better when they gave me the oxygen.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could just be on that anyway.
It's good stuff. I remember I hit my head in Vegas once and I was blind in one eye, and it went away, but they were trying to take me to hospital, and I didn't want to go to hospital because that was when I was still Australian and I didn't have like health insurance in America or anything, and I was aware that if I did go, that was going to be like an amount of money that I would never at the time pay back. So I opted to not go, and my friend who was not hurt, who was, because it was the finals, so he had a few more rides, and he was like, let me use that oxygen mask. And I was like, okay. So then he was taking hits off it, and he was like, it helped me because it was hot.
Yeah.
And he was like, I felt so much better from that oxygen mask. So it really works.
Yeah.
I thought those oxygen bars were a fraud.
Well, I think an oxygen bar and proper oxygen might be two different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go to an oxygen bar, but while I was like having a medical event, it certainly did the trick.
Seems like that's one of the go-tos for doctors in emergencies, is to stick things up people's nose.
It was great.
It's pretty cool.
Oxygen. Yeah.
It was
Fainting, I've often wondered about that because, you read about days of yore and ladies were always fainting left and right. And I wondered, were they lying? Or like basically, why did everybody stop fainting?
I'm sure some of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of them were just being dramatic. But I also know a lot of people who have fainted before.
Yeah.
I donated blood recently, and I didn't faint afterwards, but I did like get myself to the floor so I didn't faint.
Do you think if a shark attacked you, you'd faint?
I don't know.
It might be handy.
I don't know.
Or a bear.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. I mean, how could I know if it would
I said
happen
the
with a
wrong
bear
word.
and not a shark?
Well, I feel like if you faint in the water, you're losing that fight for sure.
Yeah.
That's
sure.
bad.
Yeah, you might win the don't get eaten by shark battle, but you're going to lose the don't die.
Yeah.
You know how it's worked in my experience is like in the moment is not when I faint. Like I gave a speech in high school, and after the speech in my next class, I fainted.
Oh, wow. That's not every time, though. Sometimes you have fainted from the pressure that is happening right now.
I've never fainted on stage.
But you have afterwards.
No, not after stand up.
Okay.
I have thought I was going to
Yeah.
many times,
Yeah,
but
me
I
too.
never have. And so now I don't think I'm going to ever,
Yeah, I thought I was gonna faint for the first time ever at that. When I did stand up in Austin, Brianna, what's that place? Where I bombed really hard.
Vulcan.
Yeah,
It would have been so funny if you
I-
bombed and then you fainted.
it would have helped. I went to my friend's funeral the night before and flew in,
Oh,
and I
man.
didn't sleep, and I just felt super dizzy, and I was having a panic attack, and I was up next, and I was like, man, will my legs get up the stairs? And then I got up there, and I was just so shaky
Yeah.
and scared, and then I started bombing, and that made it worse.
One time I was having a panic attack and no, I was going to faint, but I thought I was having a panic attack. So I was talking myself out of it. I was like, you're just a person in a chair. Like, you're fine. I was like around friends. And I was like, you're fine. And then I fainted. And that makes it even scarier
Yeah.
because then like when I feel like I'm going to faint, I can't be like, you're just having a panic attack.
Right, I wanted to ask, so you can tell you're going to faint.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't get
It
to just
feels-
wake up and go, hey, what happened?
No, it feels awful.
Oh,
it
no.
feels awful. I haven't done it in a while, and so I forgot how terrible it felt. And I think it might be worse now that like I'm an adult, because I swear I felt like shit for like 24 hours.
Oh, no.
Like,
It makes you feel shitty afterwards.
I just was so low energy. Like I just was on the couch.
Yeah.
I didn't like go for my walk. Like I just was like, and I was talking to my mom about it. Cause
Does
used
she
to-
have it?
No, she just used to be a nurse, and she was like, it's basically like a hard reset for your body.
Yeah. It's a bummer that it's not a hard reset where you wake up refreshed.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
No, that's never happened.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, you wake up just like weak.
So what's the worst thing that ever happened to you doing stand up?
I was groped on stage.
Whoa.
I was also roofied at a club, but that wasn't while I was doing like I wasn't on stage. The worst thing that happened was someone came onto stage and started like sexually groping me, and nobody would do anything because everybody thought it was a bit, and I was saying everybody's just okay with this, like get this person off me. I was saying everything I could to get people to help me and get him off of me. This was in Milwaukee, and nobody did anything. I don't know ultimately like how I got him off of me. I'm getting so like full body mad right now, even remembering it.
Fair. Totally fair.
I take back every nice thing I said about people from Milwaukee.
Was he a stalker or just like a drunk guy or what?
He later actually became a stalker. He was a
kept going.
comic. He became a stalker. He was calling me from all these different numbers and like describing things in my workplace, and I was terrified. I filed a police report against like this phone number. Like I didn't know who this person was, and then he in like an email was like, I thought you knew it was me. We were just messing around. Wow. And I was like, you have ruined like 3 weeks of my life or whatever it was. I was like, every single person who looks at me, I wonder if it's my stalker. Like I haven't felt safe at all.
Do we get rid of this guy? Like,
no,
do you need me to talk to him?
don't have any contact with him.
Right.
I am in California. I assume he's still in Milwaukee. He hasn't given me any trouble lately.
Right.
I feel like if it happened now, I might get like a group of guys to make it stop. You know what I mean?
How many years ago was that?
10? 9?
So, a
8,
decade?
9.
It's just interesting to know that 10 years ago, we don't get up to help you, and now we do.
Oh, that happened. So the stalking happened 9 years ago. That happened probably 11 or 12 years ago.
Okay.
The groping. Yeah.
Okay. But man,
I've also had men yell that a man yelled that he was going to roofie me on stage, and he said it over and over. And I was running a show with a bunch of men, and nobody kicked him out. And I was like, kick him out. Are you kidding? Like I was on stage. I was like, what? Someone kick him out. Like I ran a show literally with 10 men, and nobody kicked him out until I don't know, a full minute, 2 of me being like, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Like, why are any of you here? What is the point of having 10 men in this room
Yeah.
if none of you will, like, just tell him to leave?
Yeah.
It's not like you're physically fighting him. No one's going to tell him to get out. Why?
A lot
Yeah.
of comedians barely qualify as men.
It's unreal. It's
A lot of them don't.
unbelievable.
Oh, you could go back to just saying a lot of people in the world
Sure.
don't qualify as
And
men
you know what
too.
I hear a lot from men, like, about those situations is like, well, we don't want to insult women by making them think that we don't think they can take care of themselves. It's like, but
He's
if I
screaming,
ask
he's gonna
you for your
roofie you.
help,
Yeah.
yeah, seriously.
Like I feel like you don't have to be working at the club. It's like if I'm a guy at another table,
Right.
and there's a man screaming, "Hey, I'm gonna roofie you, lady," over and over again, and I'm assuming you're sitting next to your significant other,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna say, "Hey, man, maybe seriously shut the fuck up or get wrecked." You know, like, which one do you want? Somebody gotta. You can't say. I'm trying to think of one scenario where somebody could yell that at a lady in a football game. I don't care where you are. If you yell that, you're getting wrecked.
Right. I know that this is the least of the problems with that, but also, like, you don't tell someone you're going to roofie them.
Nah. Yeah, I don't care if you're joking and you think it's funny because you're
They
a
would
moron.
watch their drink.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be able to do it then. It kind of depends on you being sneaky.
Yeah.
It
Thank
has to
God
be
he
a
was.
surprise attack.
Thank God he was stupid.
Right. There's that.
Yeah.
We do that a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. I regret asking that question.
Yeah.
I thought you were just going to be like, man, this one time I bombed. But
It's been a ride. And yet I hear of women quitting all the time because they're like, the scene is too hostile. Like, the open mics are so sexist or whatever. And I'm like, what, you can't fight through it? That's like such a shitty response.
Yeah.
And that's just what's in my heart. I'm like, come on, what a cop out. Like, but that's so ridiculous. Cause, like, yeah, I also have been roofied at a show, like, while working a club. Like, I've been assaulted. And I had, like, a man, like, grab my stomach. I had a man kiss me on my mouth while I was pushing him off of me, saying, "What is your problem? Like, get off of me, stop." And the people behind him in, like, the meet and greet line were laughing. Like, they thought it
At
was
a meet and greet.
Yeah,
God
they
damn.
thought it was funny.
This is
Like, so much has happened, and this is like not all, you know, like, so much has happened, and yet it's been worth it. Like, is that bad to say? That I'm like, I would go through it again, you know?
yeah, because you love your craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
I
it's
mean,
not.
ultimately, like, I didn't die.
It doesn't make
Like,
it
I
right.
didn't like it, but I don't feel like there was too much. Like, I'm okay. I don't know. Is that bad to say that there wasn't too much lasting damage
Man, can I?
that I'm consciously aware of? I don't know.
You gotta, like, you know what I mean, teach your boys something.
Something.
You
Yeah.
can't. Well, as a man, you can't. You're making me look bad. You know, I got enough problems as it is, and you're doing that. Are you seriously doing that? Anybody.
Anybody.
Teachers, anyone.
Somebody teach men.
If
not to
some
assault
kid is
women.
like, you know what, it's cool to, you gotta check that kid.
I would like to think, and I'm pretty sure that things are getting better. How much better, I don't know, but at least moving in the right direction. But I don't think I know a woman well who doesn't have, like, at least one terrible story. Like, I can name the guys that I know who have a terrible story. All the women that I know have at least one horrible story. I'd like to think we're on the right path to making that not quite so horrible.
It has gotten better for me. I don't know if that's because I'm performing in more places that have security.
Right.
Like, at the Comedy Store, they have a bunch of security. I was sitting in the back of the original room one time, and a guy walking out looked at me. I hadn't even gone on stage that night. I hadn't ever said a word to this person. I didn't know who he was. He looked at me and he goes, "Fat bitch." And then he walked out of the room, and, like, he got chased out by security and was banned from the club. So at least, like, there's that, although that's not a story of it not happening, you know?
Right.
I would like to think it's gotten better too. But again, you know, I only have my own experiences. That was in the last couple years. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Let's talk about your new podcast.
Okay.
You are giving out advice.
Yeah. Yeah, my new podcast is called Unsound Advice.
So not good advice.
I mean, it's mostly supposed to be a funny title. I would like to think it's good advice, but like I'm not a psychologist.
Yeah.
Like it's advice that I don't really have qualifications to give, except for like the work that I've done on myself, and I just share my own experiences. I can relate it to people who call in with problems of theirs, and I have a comedian guest on every week, and yeah, so far it's going really well.
Yeah, I saw you had Taylor Tomlinson on. So what sort
Yeah.
of questions? Is there a certain kind of lane that you see for yourself as an advice giver?
Lane?
Yeah, like is there a certain kind of, romantic advice or sexual advice or financial
No,
advice?
we're kind of taking it all on.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like no question is too big or too small. And yeah, we had Pete Holmes for the first episode. Then yeah, Taylor was on this week. I think Mark Maron is the next one we're releasing.
Ooh. You got Mark Maron?
Yeah.
Check you out.
Yeah, he's been really good to me.
He's the best.
has taken me on tour with him. Yeah.
Nuh-uh. I
Yeah.
think I've been watching him lately. He is the best.
Yeah.
That guy's, when he walks in, I go, ooh.
He killed on the podcast too. He was so funny. I was dying. Yeah.
What was so good about his advice giving? Are you surprised having known him in a
He
professional
just was
capacity?
so funny. I mean, no, I wasn't surprised. He just like went on a tangent. It like the podcast really just goes wherever it goes, and then we take calls when that feels right.
Yep.
But if someone calls in, like, we often have stories where like, whatever, this thing happened.
Man, if I was you, sorry, but I would have a taser, the one that shoots those things, the prongs out. I would just have it on my belt like a cowboy.
I have a taser that doesn't shoot prongs out, and do you know what's so funny is that my ex-boyfriend gave it to me the same day that he ended up cheating on me.
Did you tase him?
No, of course not. But it's just funny.
Do you think it was a guilt taser?
No, he gave me the taser first.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, as far as you know.
So I don't know what
busy
his
day
whole,
for him.
I don't know what his whole vision was for that situation, but
I bought some pepper spray.
it was a busy day for him.
Yeah, but then you pepper spray everybody in the room when you pepper spray someone.
Well, that's the thing.
It has a really precise jet, though. I know people say that, but like
it splashes
the
off.
mist coming back at you. So.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people told me when I bought it, because I just like live in like a lot of neighborhoods in LA that weren't sketchy until like 3 years ago, and now there's like this camp around the corner kind of thing. So just to be sure when I'm walking the dog, I wanted the wife to have one. And it doesn't say anywhere on the box that, like, by the way, when you spray this, you need to get lost.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you pepper spray absolutely everybody.
I just keep thinking of that Hangover movie where he shoots the guy in the face. And I feel like if somebody was being inappropriate and I shot him in the face with a taser gun, that would feel good for everybody.
Barring him.
Oh, yeah. But whatever with that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's legal. One, I don't know if it's legal to have it on my hip. Like, police would be like, excuse me, sir or ma'am, do you have a taser gun on your hip? I'd be like, well, yeah, it's a dangerous world. Self-defense. And then there's the next one of, so you shot the man in the face with the taser gun. I was like, well, yeah, he was being inappropriate.
Yeah, I think you can have one.
What's the damage? I wonder if you get to walk.
Yeah, I don't think it's a crime.
Right. Well, then, I don't need one, but you should get one.
Okay.
You know what? I wouldn't mind having one. Like, I would just like an innocent civilian to just be like, "Excuse me, sir," and then bam, just shoot him in the face for the person that he was offending.
Yeah, a vigilante.
And then we can do like the
taser.
slow build clap. You know what I mean? Where everyone starts, and then it's like, yeah, and the dude's like, because it's pretty funny when shitheads get hit with that. It's kind of because they don't. You can be tough. Seen guys on PCP go, it didn't even hurt. But eventually they turn it up enough. Even those guys feel it.
There's not too much PCP going around these days, but does meth kind of do the same thing?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I know. You've ever done PCP?
No.
It's pretty cool.
I guess that wasn't a ridiculous question. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
How about meth?
No.
It's not as cool.
Yeah, I don't think you're missing much.
I mean, I think I'm missing a lot, but I'm happy to miss it.
Yeah. I just feel like they took a certain amount. Because I've done both of them, and I never was like, you should shoot me, police should shoot me, and I'll just run off naked. I never did enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I was always like, if I had been naked in the backyard and the police came and they were like, you need to stop doing what you're doing, I would have complied. I was never,
Yeah.
Like, whoa! I guess I wasn't doing it.
You were never the runner on cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about those people this morning when I was getting ready to go to the airport at 4 a.m. that I was like, oh, right now is the best time to be. This is like prime. This is 8 o'clock Saturday night for homeless meth people because they don't have to deal with us. They finally get the whole town to themselves and they're up. I imagine there was quite a party happening in the underpass right by my house.
Under the bridge downtown?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
in
a
Culver
great
City
place.
in this case. But yeah, close enough. Doesn't rhyme.
Fair enough. So what's next?
You tell me.
Did you do a special and now you're making all new stuff, or are you in the middle of
No.
so you don't have pressures of reinventing a whole new thing? You're just cruising?
My thing that I'm doing now is just like trying to be way less precious with my material. Like I stopped caring and just started posting everything on social media. So,
Does that do anything for the people that come and see you that they saw it on social media?
I don't know. I had to stop caring. But I got like 14,000 new followers this month from like posting more clips of my stuff. So that will make more people come out. And then it's like, you can always write new material, you know? It definitely motivates me to write more material.
So when you do post that stuff, will you do that stuff in your set if people come to see you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but a headlining set's like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And these clips are like 10 seconds long.
I never
They're
thought
like
it was
20
a
seconds.
problem, but I just from starting, my people would tell me not to post my stuff until I have a whole bunch of new stuff.
It's probably good advice.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of people following your lead because it obviously pays off on social media. I don't know. I think we've all had that experience, especially if you're around comedy clubs where you're like, oh, they're doing that bit now. Even if you know the joke, it can still be funny. You don't want to see somebody do an hour verbatim that you've seen before. But you can do some hits.
Right. Well, and I do crowd work. So like every show is different and special. And also, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
You hit your head a lot?
No, but I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding my words today.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I don't know what my deal is.
I probably just brought the brain suck into the room.
Well, that's
no, it
cool.
was earlier. I was on a phone call and I was like, we have the simplest thing to talk about and I can't think of what it is or what I want to say.
Well, too bad you can't do mushrooms.
Why?
Because it sparks stuff in there.
Well, I don't know that I would have just like taken mushrooms because of that phone call and then driven here, you know?
Well, not a lot of mushrooms, just a little bit.
I don't know.
That's what Ubers are for.
What, a little bit of mushrooms?
Half the people in there are on mushrooms.
I don't feel like that would have crispened me up for the podcast.
You'd be surprised.
I would be surprised. Yeah, if it helped, I would be very surprised.
I, like you, often found that mushrooms made me even stupider.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Maybe that's my problem.
Yeah. Never sped me up, that's for sure.
Because I did the microdosing thing for a while, and like big mushrooms made me real dumb. But I found that and I was cheating. I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Maybe I'll do a little bit more. So it was sort of a micro dose.
Yeah.
But I was definitely I was a low level dumb all the time.
Well, and the issue is, it would take you saying one funny thing, and I would not stop laughing about it for 6 hours. So,
That's awesome.
Which sounds like fun,
It's
but the
flattering.
reality of it is, it wouldn't make a great podcast.
Be good for my ego, though. I'd be like, man, I really am.
I mean,
hilarious.
we'd have a blast, yeah, but
That goes a long
I don't
way
think
sometimes.
it would translate.
Before we wrap this up, I saw a news story apropos of nothing. I just want to share it
Who?
with
What
the
did
room.
you say? What word?
Apropos of nothing.
What the hell's an apropos?
It's like appropriate.
What? Shut up, Brianna.
This is nothing that we've talked about reminded me of this. I just find it really fascinating.
Wait, that's what apropos means? That it's fascinating?
No, apropos of nothing means I'm not bringing this up for any reason. It has nothing to do with what we were just talking about.
Man.
I'm using that phrase correctly,
Yeah.
right? I'm getting in my head.
Wait, you can't say that after you say apropos.
Yeah, I
you
don't
gotta
know.
know that you're saying apropos.
I
don't-
did
I
until
don't
you
know
questioned
why-
me so hard.
Well, I
on it.
questioned it because I never went to school and I'm a dumbass. Don't get
Did you
nervous.
really skip 4th grade?
I have no idea why he's yelling at you, and yes.
So she's very bright.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Congratulations.
a smart little kid. I was also just like a difficult child to
So they just
manage.
wanted to get
I
you
was a
through there?
problem kid. I think they just wanted to get me in the next school because I ran away from school.
It's a badass thing to do.
I ran away from school in 3rd grade, and they
Where'd you
didn't
go?
like it. I walked on the train tracks, just like
That's
kind
the
of
best.
far, and then the police found me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I know
You'll
that
never
I was
catch me, coppers. Did you say that?
no. I did run, but he caught me.
But I respect that you ran from them though.
I remember the poor guy was like, "God, don't make me run."
Yeah.
I felt bad.
That's cool though.
Yeah, he's a Milwaukee cop. Like 30% of his diet is pure cheese.
Right.
I don't know what it is about train tracks and kids.
I do.
Just seems like the place to go.
I would have been able to find my way home
Oh.
I used to
if
squash
I decided
money
I
on it.
needed to, which I think in my heart of hearts knew that I would eventually need to go home.
I see.
I used to squash money on it.
Yeah.
I put money on there and then the train go over it and then I'd have like a flat because we had like 1 cent and 2 cent
Yeah.
things because Australia's like old. And then you'd have a big flat wide 1 cent and that was kind of cool.
Can that derail the train, or is that a myth?
I'm pretty sure that's a myth.
Yeah,
Nobody told me that. I wouldn't have done that.
They'd probably put some fences up if it was that
Yeah.
easy.
They saw us coming.
Yeah.
We'd all be giggling around the train guy, be like, man, and be like, fuck yeah, we're putting the
Right.
coins on. What are you
But
gonna do
isn't
about
it real hard to stop a train?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they're honking at you to get out of the way.
Yeah, probably. I got electrocuted down there, so I learnt my lesson. That was the end of my... Because I used to hang out down there all the time. Me and my
Yeah.
friends would do stuff down there. And then one time I was climbing under the bridge, and I was going to fall off the bridge, and my hand went out, and it hit the power line. And it hit the back of my palm instead of my... Because I went like that. So it went whap! And like a big light thing, like... Whoosh, and my arm was like... Boom! I thought my arm broke. And then I fell on, then it made me fall off the thing that I was falling off anyway. So then I fell and hit the rocks or whatever, but I was all shaky.
Yeah, that seems like it would kill the child.
Right.
I'm glad you pulled through.
I think if I had my palm hit it, then I would have made my arm grab onto it.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
right.
you know how it
right.
makes you-
You
yeah.
deform the current or whatever.
Oh
yeah.
shit!
All
Yeah.
right. For us, the train tracks were just a dependable place to find discarded porn magazines.
Oh,
which
wow.
made a certain sort of intuitive sense at the time. Because the train tracks I'm thinking of, it was like one of those weird things where maybe there used to be a line there, but it was a dead end, or maybe
Yeah.
trains used to... Like, there was no train ever went to this thing.
Oh, even better.
And so it was like private, but still now looking through the eye of a grown-up, who were these men who were going to the 7-Eleven, buying porn, going to the train tracks, and then tossing them there? I don't know.
Angels.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
It is a gift.
Porn angels.
Well, I wish I could say I hope you had fun, but, you know what I mean? We were annoying. I think I said that at the
I had
start.
fun.
Though. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're ridiculously funny, and what's your website where everyone can see your tour dates?
Just there's a link in my Instagram bio at Lara Beitz, LaraBeitz, and you can listen to my podcast at unsoundedvicepod.com.
I love your shoes too.
Thank you so much.
Pink is my favorite color.
Thank you.
You look great.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Check us out on Patreon if you want to. Patreon.com/EllisMate. Have a good day and stuff. Don't die.